In the 5th episode of the Oral Literature Podcast, we will hear Casey Newbegin and E.K. Anderson share their work from previously published chapbooks as well as new material. Both Casey and Emily will be reading at the Oral Literature Program June 29th at the Terrazas branch, along with Sam Sachs and Abe Louise Young. E.K. Anderson is up first and will be reading primarily from her chapbook of poems written to Prince, but begins with a new piece that functions as a eulogy to Prince.
This is Kristin Anderson. I'm going to be reading from a couple of my new chapbooks. On April 21st of this year, we lost my hero, Prince. And this was the first poem and one of the only poems I've been able to write since then, despite having written two full chapbooks about and to Prince in the past. And I'll read from Pray, 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 poems I wrote to Prince in the middle of the night after this. But first, I wanted to read what is kind of a eulogy to Prince. And it was published in Barrel House online, who were very gracious to take this piece and one other of mine. This is called How to Be What the Lightning Sees. 1. Be taller than you are. Those pictures in their frames have never been more than flat black, white, color, not color. Be taller because you are taller. The birds know who you are. 2. Say your name. Say it out loud. Say it with every chord you play and every note you sing and every whisper in the dark to your lover or friend. Say it because it is yours and only yours. 3. The beautiful ones are not who you think they are. They are not who they think they are. They are not the glitter, the grace, the lightning. 4. Know that every day that the sun rises is a sick irony. It sets, and that too is irony. It is your face catching heat, catching cold, catching your own words or some other words or any words slick into your skin. 5. Drop the bass. Touch my shoulders, where I collect freckles, all the places I shouldn't have been, hip to hip with a stranger in the emergency exit row, in the emergency room. Talk, ravish, praise, craze, liberate my mind. 6. Kill me with that lance of a song. Kill me with that drum machine. Kill me with that smile that knows everything the human eye could even picture perceiving. 7. Let the rain fall down, down. 8. Make a basket with your fingers. Give a voice a push with your palms. Walk away and watch the grace be grace. Write a new song. Write everything. Stand back, stand back. 9. Remember that extra time. Remember it because it was never yours. I want to leave you with something warm. I want to leave you with something warm. I don't want to leave you. 10. Even when the winter does you cold, breathe in a sigh so deep you fall backward. Here is my vein. Here is your needle. Find the turntable and spin. This is possibly my favorite poem to read from Pray, 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 poems I wrote to Prince in the middle of the night, which Pork Belly Press published in 2015. And it's very strange reading these poems now because sometimes they feel haunting to me. And it's haunting to read them, both haunting to have them as something that I wrote. And this is called Anchored in Small Town Beauty and City Heat. Tonight, that thick sound of drums hits me in the chest again. I hope you're still there, waiting in a well-lit corner, okay, remembering. I find myself aging, out of time, writing in dreams instead of parties. Tonight, my body is a thick drum. Years split open like a greatest hits album, and I'm sucked inside. Remember the sun? Leaves rustle and pretend to be new. I step on acorns and revel as they crack beneath my boots. Your guitar runs straight through me. I worry that I am a specter. Here I am to haunt my own future, that falsehood that I still cannot endorse. Every minute I let drip into the neatly paved road feels wasted. I feel wasted. High on afternoon sun, I crash like an addict and try to feel your words, tucked in with incomparable buzz. Bees live inside me, venom like honey in every vein. These hours, how to explain loneliness to a creature who lives to create and to defend and to die? Let's look at blossoms like a butterfly would, see the colors that she would see. What must it be like to sip from blooming aster? And does it matter, even, if you are small and adored? I find myself quiet. Time does end, and I am simply waiting for a sign. The sun comes up again, and my cool wraps fear in a tight package to leave on someone's doorstep. I know you believe in angels. Maybe that's enough. I will believe in bees and butterflies and red lipstick and the American dream. Maybe that's enough. I photograph the El Camino park next door. Maybe that's enough. I sit on the front stairs and watch the neighbors go by. They see so much. I'd rather stay at home. But dancing, that's important too. It's heavy like a drum, like the guitars winding together, laced, reaching for angels, those butterflies. I lay down. I rest. I hold your words tightly in each fist and hope I will never let go.
My name is Casey Newbegin, and I'll be reading mostly from my chapbook titled Northern California Lightning Series. On June 20th of 2008, Northern California was struck by lightning from a dry thunderstorm. This storm followed a record lack of rainfall for the state, and coupled with the wind conditions that spring, the region was particularly vulnerable to wildfires. Over 3,596 individual fires burned between May and September that year. CAL FIRE collectively named these fires the Northern California Lightning Series. California is currently entering into its fourth consecutive year of drought. I wrote this chapbook to explore my anxiety about the future of the world and of my home state. So it's a lot about love and anxiety and our precious resources. Afternoon at the Russian River. The bathing suit I'd borrowed didn't fit. Wet polyester crawled into the fold under my breasts, too tight and too loose at once. Slick river rocks slid beneath my feet, and the barbecue burned. Watched you talking on the shore. Hated you some for bringing me, like an offering, out into the loud sun, loud talk of strangers. Swam upstream to spite you, leave you wondering where I'd gone. Drought made the current mellow. I floated back down on the surface, belly up, arms open, ears underwater. Unhealthy for sensitive groups. We sealed the windows tight against the smoke, but she won't sleep, keeps rolling and sweating in the dark. The ceiling fan cycles hot air. I cannot properly explain particulate matter. I say soot, bad air, air that hurts. How could she understand? All spring, her imagination games transformed our street into a maze of treachery. Driveways, ponds of ice, lawns, plunging canyons, the beds of decorative California rock, pits of lava. She navigated between the havens of her parents' porches, balanced, skated, swam, and flew, but never, not once, fell. I tell her a story of a world getting warmer, a brighter sun, a bathtub ocean, a glacier creaking from melt. I wish for her a dream of relentless summer, paddleboat avenues and water slides, popsicles, sudsy car wash water on the pavement. For me, though, it's thirsty crops, a creeping shoreline, and these fires. At her bedside, I rock and inhale deeply, feel my chest tighten. Her shallow breaths, her small lungs expanding. The cracks under the door, between pane and sill, how many, how wide? Clarity. Our friends married by the Sacramento River in the heat. You and I had clinked glasses with them and kissed for the new year. Now another beginning and more champagne, but we sat at different tables. Sometime during the reception, we left to sit by the pool and talk. The water glowed a green and still cradle for the July moon. A circle of lamplight enveloped us, but shadowed your eyes. It was nothing like the time we lay in the sand, and I closed and opened my eyes to see you newly. Or that afternoon on the hill, in the dry eucalyptus casings. We knew what the problems would be and did nothing. Music and our friends' laughter floated through the windows, and I turned to face an orchard of almond trees, untouched and heavy with fruit in the scorched fields. A vista, wide enough to get lost in, but not nearly enough to sustain me. This poem is not in my chapbook, but it will be in the forthcoming Aural Lit anthology to be released October of this year. It's called As Easy as That. Returning from an evening with friends, I point out the Big Dipper above their building. What is it, my friend asks. You poke holes in the cup, and it pours on the lion's head. We hug in the middle of the street, and when he says, "Good night, kid," I feel a high, thin longing in the back of my skull. I turn the corner and fumble for my key in the jumbled interior of my purse. Between the blinds of a basement apartment, tousled and dark-haired, he sleeps with the lights on. His bedclothes crumple around him in folds, a lover's vision, him warm and still in the summer night. A summer night, dark and warm, with the sweet exhale of the earth. This far inland, the air doesn't cool with the sinking sun. I am awake all night as he sleeps. I stalk my apartment, wearing next to nothing, pressing a water glass to my temple, the condensation dripping down my jaw. Summer insists upon absences. What's missing? I lay under the breeze of the ceiling fan and sense the spaces, the losses. Summer lays its truth flat and wavering like the heat off the pavement. And I have to remind myself how gentle it all is, how easy sometimes. Like the first day you feel healthy after a cold, your body a revelation. How could you feel like this and never notice? How could you always feel like this and never notice? The freshness of cherries in your mouth, the wondrous fact that there are cherries and that you can eat them. You press the button and the elevator comes. As always, it comes to you, to me, to the boy in the bed. You can believe in that. It's as easy as that sometimes.